Bangor. From the Great North Woods to the Rock Mount Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Today on Good Morning Maine, a Brewer man is awaiting court action after being accused of kidnapping a woman in Bangor.
Plus, warming centers are now open in Bangor to help people escape the dangerous weather.
And we'll also meet some former police officers who are sharing their love for the outdoors with aspiring Maine guides.
Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for tuning in on this Monday morning. A messy morning it is at that. Freezing rain started coming down here in the Bangor area late yesterday afternoon. It's kind of continued through the night, coating everything with ice and sleet, just creating a real mess. Other areas are receiving a bunch of snow, especially as you head out west towards the Greenville area. Actually, I think we still have a live picture coming from Greenville Junction we've been watching on and off. Still snowing a little bit there as the sun comes up over Greenville today.
Definitely looks like a wintry mix over there. I hope, though, that the snow can stick on because there's a lot of ski areas over there that people are hoping for enough snow to be able to get out on the mountain.
Yeah, certainly good news for people that enjoy the snow. It looks like the coast today is going to receive mostly freezing rain and that sort of thing. So just terrible driving conditions. If you don't have to be out, stay inside today. It's a holiday. You might as well enjoy inside today.
Right, absolutely. Our reporter Jody just made it in, and she said she was already slowed down just on her way from Herman to Bangor due to wrecks. So be careful. Here's Devin Biggs with the full forecast.
And thank you very much, Craig and Emma. Happy Monday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Scott's Recreation, New England's largest trailer dealer, home of Maine's lowest camper and tractor prices, with locations in Turner, Manchester, Herman, and Orono, Maine. Here we go. So we do have winter storm warnings in the pink located right about in here up until about Tuesday morning at 5 a.m. A winter weather advisory indicated here in the purple until about midnight as we head towards Tuesday morning. These times might change depending on where you're at, but these are in effect because of a mess that is going to be moving in soon. So let's take a look at things right now. We also have a gale warning up until about 5 o'clock on Monday morning. So later this evening, though, I should say, Monday at around 5 p.m. There's going to be watching for high surf that will be moving in, and it's going to be giving us some issues as we're going to be watching this area of low pressure stirring up the ocean, but also sending all this precipitation moving in as we're watching some ice moving in from the east, going toward the west with some snow mixing in. So we'll be watching for a wintry mix of rain, sleet, snow, and freezing rain, but especially the freezing rain and sleet part where a lot of accumulating ice will be possible, though a half inch can be possible in a few spots or less with this area of low pressure that's currently kind of rotating off towards the east in general, but it is going to be sending some of this icy precipitation in, at least for the daytime today. So here we go. So we're going to be watching this moving in for most of the daytime today, but notice by tonight it starts to taper off a bit. So by Tuesday, things will begin to improve. Here's your hourly forecast for the rest of the afternoon period and the morning period too. Sleet and freezing rain will be the main idea. Temperatures in the 20s and 30s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Emma.
All right, thank you, Devin. We'll see you a little later on. Well, some volunteer firefighters are braving the icy road conditions at this hour. They are off at the scene of a fully involved garage fire in Hancock at this hour. We're told it happened on Washington Junction Road. We don't know much more about it other than that, but you may want to avoid that area for a while because firefighters are dealing with it sounds like a pretty bad garage fire in the town of Hancock. A man accused of kidnapping a woman in Bangor will likely make his first court appearance after the holiday. At around 10 o'clock on Saturday night, the Bangor Police Department received multiple calls about what appeared to be an abduction in progress. Multiple witnesses reported seeing a man force a woman into a U-Haul rental van in the parking lot of Target near the Bangor Mall.
The van left the parking lot and proceeded up Stillwater Avenue, followed by a couple of the people who'd been in the parking lot who were giving officers directions as to where the car was going.
Officers later spotted and pursued the van traveling southbound on I-95 and then stopped it on I-395 near Exit 2. The driver of the van, Colby Cooper of Brewer, was taken into custody and is now facing charges of kidnapping, eluding, and domestic violence assault. The victim was treated by Bangor Fire Department for minor injuries and released.
The Augusta Police Department is currently investigating a robbery that occurred Saturday morning on Stone Street in Augusta. According to police, the caller reported an unidentified male suspect who entered the Big Apple store and displayed a firearm and demanded an undisclosed amount of money and merchandise. No injuries have been reported in connection to the robbery. The suspect is described as a white male, approximately 6'3" to 6'6", 160 to 200 pounds, wearing a dark blue sweatshirt, black sneakers, and dark gray sweatpants. The suspect involved fled the scene before police could arrive and has not yet been identified at this time. Police are asking anyone with information to contact the Augusta Police Department's Criminal Investigations Bureau.
Meanwhile, a Bangor man will spend 2.5 years in jail in connection with a string of burglaries in the downtown Bangor area that happened last spring. 52-year-old Clyde Cooper pleaded guilty to a long list of charges, including burglary of 13 businesses, felony possession of meth, and misuse of a credit card. According to the Penobscot DA, Cooper was sentenced to 5 years in prison with all but 2.5 suspended, as well as 2 years of probation. Cooper must also pay $5,000 in restitution to the victims.
Hamden police arrested one person on drug charges after executing a search warrant on the Coldbrook Road. According to Hamden's public safety Facebook page, police discovered suspected fentanyl, cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine, all packaged for individual sale. As a result, more than 200 grams of illegal drugs were seized. Police arrested 25-year-old Tristan Bofinger of Hamden. He's charged with aggravated trafficking of fentanyl, cocaine, and possession of other scheduled drugs. His bail was set at $50,000.
The Penobscot County Sheriff's Office is seeking the public's help while searching for 17-year-old Crystal Bursey. She was last seen at around 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon in Howland. Crystal told her family she was walking to the Dollar General store in Enfield, and she hasn't been seen since. She was last seen wearing a brown fur jacket with off-white sweatshirt with brown sleeves. She had on blue jeans and also had a pink backpack. If you see her, please contact the Penobscot County Sheriff's Office. Their number is 945-4636.
The Belfast Police Department is investigating what police are calling a prank 911 call. Saturday at 5:39 p.m., Belfast police received a 911 call of a reported shooting at a Union Street address in Belfast. The caller, a male, told Waldo County Emergency Dispatch that he just shot his brother and that his brother was dead. Dispatch then notified units to respond to the reported shooting while keeping the caller on the phone. According to a press release, dispatch advised responding units that they could hear gunshots over the phone. Once officers arrived at the scene, they called into the house and had the occupants come outside for their safety, which they did. While speaking with the residents, the male caller ended the call with dispatch by saying the call was a hoax and then hung up. Officers checked the interior of the house, and after speaking with the residents who cooperated fully, the caller was not found at the residence. The investigation now shifts to locating the source of the call, which police say if the person is located, they will face criminal charges. It is a crime in Maine to make a false call to 911, creating, quote, false public alarm. If anyone has information about this investigation, they're asked to contact the Belfast Police Department.
Warming centers around Bangor are opening their doors for those in need. David Ledford with that story.
There's a safe place to come and to be warm, and I think it's the right thing to do.
For the third winter in a row, the Mansion Church on Center Street is offering a place for people to get out of the cold. According to Pastor Terry Dinkins, the church also provides free meals and clothing to those who come by, thanks to donations from the community and hard-working volunteers. Dinkins says that the church hopes to ease the burden of some of the problems he has seen in his 15 years of helping the homeless.
I believe we have a drug epidemic in our city. We see also mental illness is a large factor in our community, and also there's not enough housing for everyone. So I think those three things are very key to why we have so many homeless.
The Mansion Church is open to everyone from 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. every night until April 1st. Down the street at the River Church, a new warming center is preparing to open, offering help during the daylight hours.
We have a large homeless population. It doesn't appear that there's a large segment of our community that offers a warming center during the daytime hours. So we figured we could step up and accomplish that. We just want to give back a little bit to the community that God has placed us in.
The River Church partnered with Jericho Road Ministries to build the new center, which will open on January 18th. In addition to a warm place to stay, people will be able to use internet, TV, and laundry services. Both warming centers provide hot coffee and shower access. In Bangor, David Ledford, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
What a wonderful list of resources there. You know, some of these things that a lot of us take for granted, like a warm place to get out of the snow.
Right.
Thank goodness for them.
Right. And there's such a need for it, so they're filling in where they can. So
Yeah.
good for them. They're always also seeking donations and stuff like that. So if you want to do a good deed, you can always reach out to them.
Great idea.
Right. Well, the time now is 8:10. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, we'll meet two former police officers who are now teaching people how to become Maine guides.
But first, another check of our forecast. It is a messy one. Freezing rain, snow, and sleet today with a high near 31 degrees. It will continue tonight. Tomorrow, things will be a bit better. It will be mostly cloudy and a little warmer, which might help melt some of that ice. The high tomorrow near 35 degrees.
Find meaningful work in direct care and improve the quality of life of others.
The right personality and character traits, in my opinion, to be a DSP is kind, caring, and understanding.
Visit caringforme.org to learn more and make an impact through a compassionate career.
Are you looking to have some fun, including soaring on Skyrider, the ultimate indoor zip line? Well, come over to Urban Air, Bangor's #1 birthday party destination, located at the Airport Mall. Urban Air has gravity-defying attractions for all ages, including our Warrior Course, trampolines, enormous arcade section, and climbing walls. Call us today to schedule your birthday party. And don't forget, we have endless play memberships available as well. Urban Air, let them fly.
When Watch Me Shine wants to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. Watch Me Shine is hiring early childhood providers and behavioral health professionals to work with young children and empower them to learn and shine in all they do. To apply, call 990-0162.
Find meaningful work in direct care and improve the quality of life of others.
The right personality and character traits, in my opinion, to be a DSP is kind, caring, and understanding.
Visit caringforme.org to learn more and make an impact through a compassionate career.
You ain't living your best life? My best life is when I have dragons to slay.
We're going to see heavy rains and a wide path of destruction.
It's raining frogs!
I'm sorry, did you say frogs?
That was even weirder than the volcano.
Nothing is as weird as lava at mini golf.
Just wait around a minute. Something awful's bound to happen.
911 Lone Star season premiere January 24th on Fox.
Welcome back, everyone. Bangor City Council recently announced how the city plans to distribute money from the American Rescue Plan Act. Some of it will be used to help those who are struggling. According to Bangor's website, the City Council plans to release over $500,000 towards serving community members who are homeless, as well as those who are battling substance abuse disorders. The City Council has approved organizations like Fresh Start Sober Living to receive almost $400,000 to invest in energy-efficient communal housing and substance use disorder recovery.
It's one of the few times that municipalities and other levels of government have been allocated a significant amount of funding that could be used on a wide variety of topics that typically don't get grant funded.
Executive Director for Together Place Peer Run Recovery Center says this move is a step in the right direction, but that more funding is needed to expand on existing recovery services and housing.
I think they may be moving forward on housing first. I just hope they move on mental health and substance use pretty soon as well. The need is very much out there, especially right where we are, right in the area surrounding Together Place. I think we need to make a big civic investment in this section of the community, and that will benefit the entire region if we do.
Well, based on public input, the Bangor City Council plans to use $4.1 million to invest in housing programs. The plan will go in front of the full City Council within the next month. Also, if you or someone you know is struggling with substance abuse, you can reach out to the Together Place for resources and support.
Two former police officers are teaching Mainers how to start their own business. Devin Dagnall has more.
My joke about guiding is that you're now solving other people's problems.
5 years ago, Dave Tyrrell and Michael Tuminaro started helping people discover the beauty of Maine's outdoors as licensed guides. And for the past 2, they've been teaching others how they can do it too. Their 3-day Augusta-based program, Maine Upland Guide School, has prepared over 100 students for their Maine Guide license test.
We're not teaching to a test. We're teaching people where maybe they need to work to be prepared for what the state's looking for in a registered Maine Guide.
Tyrrell and Tuminaro are proud of the fact that over 80% of all of their students have passed the state's guide test. Their program is broken down into 4 sections over 3 days. The course focuses on navigation, hunting and trapping, recreation and fishing, and how to run a guide business. Tuminaro says that although the course is meant for people training to become guides, anyone can sign up.
I love the people we meet. I love the interests they have and the things they're planning on doing. You might think that everybody who comes to a guide school and wants to guide for a living is somebody that maybe backcountry people from the outdoors, right? But it's not the case. We've had surgeons through here. We've had professionals through here. We've had school teachers.
The duo has gained so much popularity, they will actually begin to teach courses at the Mount Ararat Middle and High School. Heidi O'Leary, the Special Education Director of SAD 75, says that the program is called Outdoor Adventure School and will first be available to students with individualized education plans.
They'll work on a series of different projects and activities that we've learned throughout this whole entire weekend. Rope tying, about birds, about canoeing, about fire safety, about fly tying, all those kinds of things.
To learn more about Upland Guide Service and their school, check them out on Instagram and Facebook. In Augusta, Devin Dagnall for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Coming up tomorrow, the residents of Searsport will be asked to approve a $11.23 million project for a new wastewater treatment plant for the second time. Residents voted in favor of the new plant and a portion of the funding at a town meeting back in July of 2021. If passed again, it will authorize the additional funding needed, including $1.15 million from the USDA and $1.2 million of taxpayer money to help fund that project, which would be offset by any future funds raised. This vote comes after the town expressed concerns about replacing its 35-year-old wastewater treatment plant on Navy Street.
It's overdue for some serious repair. We've never done any major upgrades to it. It's run flawlessly for the entire time that's been there, but being a primary plant, it will no longer meet the requirements for DEP for sewage treatments.
The new wastewater treatment plant would use a biological process and ultraviolet lights to treat sewage instead of chemicals. The vote is set to take place on Tuesday at Union Hall in Searsport.
The time is now 8:18. After the break, we'll check out the fun from Pokemon Day over the weekend in the Bangor Mall.
Plus, we'll have your full weather forecast. That and more as Good Morning Maine continues.
Hello, Maine. This is Steve McKay. It's a wintry mix out there, but pockets of orange are standing out against the white blanket of snow throughout the state. Next Home Experience is listing and selling homes just like yours. Get looped and get sold with Next Home Experience.
There's some things that go better together.
Burger and fries, soup and salad.
Thank you. Like your workplace benefits and retirement savings. With Voya, considering all your financial choices together can help you make smarter decisions for a more confident financial future.
Hey, it's Tandem Bicycle. You can't do that by yourself. Voya, well planned, well invested, well protected.
Toyota trains certified technicians. Is that important?
Well, you wouldn't hire just anyone to help you move, would you?
No.
Of course not.
Not again.
Get your Toyota ready for the year's coldest and harshest weather. See your New England Toyota dealer for great service offers to help keep your Toyota dependable and fuel efficient all winter long. Toyota Service Centers. Keep your Toyota a Toyota.
Grand
Senate from right here in Maine is helping to ensure the Statue of Liberty is protected for years to come.
We had to match historically to the actual pieces as best as we could.
If someone can see our work and it doesn't look like it was freshly fabricated, that's when we've succeeded.
We'll have the story from Maine to Lady Liberty tonight on Fox 22 News at 10.
Looking for your dream home? Contact a Next Homie today and see what's available right now. Sellers, get ready to get looped and get sold. With Next Home Experience, we have your buyers.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. Saturday, Pokemon fans came together to take part in a new tournament to celebrate the billion-dollar franchise. The event, hosted by the Bangor Comic and Toy Con and Galactic Comics and Collectibles, is both a competition and a place for newcomers to learn how to play. Organizers say that the competition is a great way for people to come together.
We all love Pokemon here, and it's a great thing to do for the community, and I love seeing the turnout. Kids coming, kids learning to play, families getting together. I love to see how much it impacts the community of everyone coming, enjoying this.
The grand prize for the tournament is a $100 gift card to Galactic Comics and Collectibles. Organizers say that the bi-monthly event may turn into a monthly tradition because of its growing popularity.
And it is so popular. It was Pokemon wasn't around when I was a kid. I guess it probably was when you were
It was
a kid.
when I was a kid. So yeah. I'm happy to see it coming back. The app, Pokemon Go, definitely caused a resurgence in it, which is good because that got people out and about too. So
yeah,
this
I like
is good.
That. Yeah, that's when they go out and look around for like the little Pokemons in their community and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's
it helps you make friends and get out of the house.
Yeah, anytime you can do that, it's a good thing.
Absolutely.
The time now is 8:21. Time to get a full look at our forecast. Here's Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Scott's Recreation, New England's largest trailer dealer, home of Maine's lowest camper and tractor prices, with locations in Turner, Manchester, Herman, and Orono, Maine. Here we go. A lot of alerts in effect. Just a couple of them, but they're kind of overspreading the whole state. This right here is a winter storm warning up until about 5 o'clock Tuesday morning because we're going to be watching for some sleet and ice accumulations expected and a little bit of snow. Winter weather advisories in a purple here until about midnight Tuesday, depending on where you're at, for some icing accumulations as well. But the worst of it will be in the eastern parts of the state. There's also a gale warning that's in effect here, and these are the areas in that gale warning. So roughly about 5 o'clock later this evening, we can pull this map further off towards the south and west, and that's going to be kind of the general idea for pretty much everybody with this gale warning that's currently in effect. But look at all this precipitation here currently moving into purple, indicating ice moving in, possibly a wintry mix of some other precipitation here in this pink shade with rain further off towards the south and east, and maybe some snow further off towards the north. So a wintry mix of everything is what we're starting out with this morning. We're going to keep that wintry mix going for most of the daytime today, especially the sleet and freezing rain part. Roads will be slippery, half-inch or less of ice possible. Power outages will be possible with this as well as it does develop. So it's currently kind of tracking off towards the east. So we'll get this out of here later today. So by tonight, we'll still have this. But by tomorrow, things will begin to calm down with high pressure not too far away. So we just have today to deal with this precipitation that's currently moving through and plenty of ice. Look at all this today. This is not going to be a good situation, possibly mixing with some snow from time to time as we head towards the evening period. But notice what happens tomorrow. Things finally begin to calm down. So we have a little bit of icy precipitation and snow possible to start things off for you Tuesday. Maybe lingering through the afternoon too is a little bit of snow, but the worst of it will be today and the parts of tonight with a little bit of snow lingering around as we head towards early Wednesday morning as well. So here we go. So this is kind of the ice potential here. This says rainfall, but it should say the ice potential here of about a half-inch or less of ice before we're all finished up here. So this is not a good situation. So please be careful. This is ice potential here, not rainfall. We'll keep you posted as things do develop. This is the future rainfall forecast right here, about an inch and a half before we're all finished up with lesser amounts further off towards the south and west. And the snowfall potential as well is not very huge here, about an inch or two before we're all finished up. So not a whole lot lot of snow possible. We'll have to keep an eye on this as things do develop. So your forecast for today looks like this. So we do have freezing rain, sleet, and snow, power outages possible, half-inch or less of ice, highs in the low 30s. The north wind getting up to about 30 miles per hour. Later on tonight, upper 20s, freezing rain, sleet, and snow. The north wind getting up to about 20 miles per hour. And for tomorrow, 35 degrees, mostly cloudy, slight chance for snow. Again, northwest wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Scott's Recreation extended forecast. That wintry mix, especially sleet and, of course, freezing rain today. Slight chances for snow Tuesday and Wednesday. Partly cloudy Thursday. More snow moving in as we head towards your Friday.
Believe it or not, there is something better than winning an award for best brand and dependability. Being behind the wheel. Get 2.9% APR for 48 months on a new 2023 Forte.
Family owned and operating in the Bangor area for more than 10 years. Crosby's Welding is here to help you. We specialize in steel, stainless steel, and aluminum welding and fabrication. We serve many of the local industries from Maine lobstermen to the commercial trucking industry and everything in between. Fully mobile on-site construction services right down to custom signs and fire pits. Fast, friendly, reliable service. Give us a call today for a free estimate, 974-7815.
Come stop by Triple S Tack Shop, 315 Hamden Road, Carmel, for quality clothing and equestrian gear.
Hanks Husqvarna is your full-line Husqvarna dealer with 2 convenient locations, 32 Old State Road in Carmel and 19 Moosehead Trail in Newport. Whether it's tractors and zero turns, chainsaws to trimmers, or pressure washers to snow blowers, everything is set up, serviced, and ready to go by our certified Husqvarna technician. And all sales are backed by our in-house Husqvarna warranty.
For parts, service, or sales, stop in to Hanks Husqvarna, Carmel or Newport.
Lease a new 2023 Nero Hybrid LX for $309 a month.
Rescuers resumed searching in Nepal today for 4 people still missing after the Himalayan nation's deadliest plane crash in 30 years. An aircraft operated by Yeti Airlines crashed Sunday in the tourist city of Pokhara. 72 people were on board at the time, and 68 are confirmed dead. A video showing the plane shortly before the crash shows it was flying low over a populated area before rolling onto its side and then vanishing beneath the rooftops. Officials said a search was also underway for the black boxes, a cockpit voice recorder, and the flight data recorder.
One expert says it could have been the worst aviation disaster in American history. 2 passenger planes nearly collided on the runway at JFK Airport in New York. Federal authorities have launched an investigation. And now we're hearing the very moment when the air traffic controller prevented the catastrophe. ABC's Andrea Fujii has the details.
The passengers involved in a near T-bone collision at New York's JFK Airport say they're still shaken by the close call.
I will never not wear my seatbelt on a plane.
A panicked air traffic controller Friday night noticed an American Airlines plane on the same runway as a Delta plane, which had just been cleared for takeoff.
Delta 1943, cancel takeoff clearance.
The 2 planes missed each other by just 1,000 feet. The Delta pilot slamming on the brakes at 115 miles per hour. Brian Healy was on the Delta flight.
Everyone's torso sort of was thrust forward. I'm just very grateful that the judgment calls that air traffic control made and that our pilot made were the right ones.
The FAA and the NTSB are now investigating, but the air traffic controller was heard telling the American pilot he did not have clearance to be on that runway.
Obviously, there were mistakes made. Human error was involved. So the real key here now is to find out by whom, what were the circumstances, but most importantly, finding ways to put procedures in place to make sure that it never happens again.
American Airlines has not commented on the near miss. In a statement, Delta said, "The safety of our customers and crew is always Delta's #1 priority." More than 150 people were on the Delta flight alone. Experts say the air traffic controller who alerted the pilot should get credit for averting a catastrophe.
This could have been the worst aviation disaster in U.S. history. That guy saved the day. So, kudos to him.
No one was hurt, and both flights continued to their destinations.
In other news, the richest 1% accelerated their wealth during the pandemic, according to a global poverty organization. Oxfam, which works to eliminate global inequity, says in an annual 57-page report that the top 1% of those with wealth gathered it faster during the pandemic and gathered twice as much compared to the rest of the bottom 99% of people. Oxfam says the super rich benefited from soaring stock values as countries poured money into their economies to prevent collapse. Also saying that food and energy companies more than doubled their profits in 2022, paying out $257 billion to wealthy shareholders.
Republicans are ramping up their own investigations into the classified material found at President Biden's home in Wilmington, Delaware, and a Washington, D.C. office. It comes one day after the White House announced 5 more pages of classified documents were discovered last week at President Biden's Delaware home. On the same day, the Attorney General appointed a special counsel to look into the matter. ABC's Jay O'Brien has the latest.
This morning, congressional Republicans demanding more information about who came and went from President Biden's home in Wilmington, Delaware, after the White House disclosed more classified documents were found at the president's residence. In a letter to the White House, James Comer, the new chair of the House Oversight Committee, asking for the visitors' logs from the president's Wilmington home.
We want to know the visitor logs to the residence. We want to know who had access to the Biden Center for Diplomacy, because this is the same type of investigation that the Democrats were so outraged and launched and demanded happen to President Trump.
And the House Judiciary Committee launching a second investigation into how the Department of Justice handled the Biden documents case. Republicans drawing comparisons to the FBI's raid on former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago this summer and discovery of top-secret documents there as well.
We will have a role in overseeing what's transpiring here. What's real concerning to me is how justice is applied, and is it applied equally?
But Democrats pointing out the Biden team handled the classified documents properly, immediately contacting the National Archives after they were discovered, while Trump's lawyers stonewalled federal investigators for months.
Broad cooperation from the president, who clearly takes this very seriously.
The White House says it will cooperate fully with the ongoing special counsel investigation, but it's unclear how they'll respond to those Republican-led probes in the House, which administration officials have already called politically motivated.
That was Jay O'Brien reporting. Chinese government officials say almost 60,000 people have died from COVID since the country ended its stringent zero COVID policy last month. Authorities in China have been facing increasing criticism for providing unreliable statistics on the country's latest coronavirus outbreak. This is the first time China has provided an official number as the wave of COVID cases sweeps the country. It represents a huge spike in the official death toll. Officials also believe millions of people in China have been infected with the coronavirus. Before the latest announcement, China had said only 37 people had died of COVID since December 7th, the day it ended its zero COVID policy.
Still to come here on the second half of our show, we'll get a reaction from the owner of the convenience store in Lebanon that sold the winning Mega Millions ticket.
We'll be back right after this.
Behind every keepsake, there's a memory. Behind every photo, there's a story. Behind Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration, there's people giving back by bringing back what was thought to be lost. The details, the time, and the expertise, all packaged up behind a name that Mainers have trusted for over 35 years. Statewide commercial and residential services. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories. We'll handle the rest.
Leona May's Antique and Gift Shop is now open in Newport. Our unique building is a converted 1800s single-family home that we've given a new life to. a home for treasures, from antiques, collectibles, unique gifts, and so much more. Come make the rounds throughout the many rooms on all 3 floors as you wander back in time or find a unique gift that's perfect for that special someone or that hard-to-buy-for relative. So come visit us today. Leona Mays Antique and Gift Shop, 147 Main Street, Newport.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is Monday, January 16th, 2023. It's also Martin Luther King Jr. Day. This is the federal holiday set aside to reflect on the life and work of the slain civil rights leader. Dr. King was known for his work on racial equality and ending racial segregation in the U.S. And that's why it's also a day of service for some people who volunteer to improve their own communities.
Absolutely. And in 1912, a day before reaching the South Pole, British explorer Robert Scott and his expedition found evidence that a team from Norway had gotten there ahead of them. And on this day in history, in 1920, Prohibition began in the United States as the 18th Amendment took effect. And in 2003, in more recent history, the space shuttle Columbia blasted off for what turned out to be its last mission. It ended in tragedy when the shuttle broke up upon re-entry.
I remember that morning waking up and hearing about that, and it was just horrible news for the nation. We had been following that shuttle program for so long. We had the Challenger and then the Columbia, and that pretty much spelled the end of the shuttle program there.
Yep, I know it changed a lot since then.
Yeah. Today's birthdays include singer Sade, who is 64. Playwright and performer Lin-Manuel Miranda is 43. He's the guy that wrote Hamilton, and you see him on all the talk shows and stuff like that.
Yep.
Movie director John Carpenter is 75, a king of horror movies. And actor Debbie Allen is 73 years old. Happy birthday to all of them.
I know I brought it up in the 6th, but I'm kind of sleepy today. I'm looking forward to going home and having a movie day. And since it's John Carpenter's birthday, I think that's the perfect inspiration for a movie day.
He did the Halloween, some of the Halloween movies.
Halloween, The Thing. One of my favorites of all time is The Fog. There's this there's this cool radio lady who's doing the radio, and she's warning the town of the impending. It's not to be confused with The Mist.
Yep. Yeah, there's so many different ones. Yeah.
Right, but it's a fantastic movie, and it's 80s, 70s, and 80s stuff.
It's the perfect day to sit inside and watch some TV, play some video games, whatever you want to do.
Especially if it's weather themed.
Yeah, stay off the road because it is a mess out there.
It's really bad, and especially, I mean, we're lucky in Bangor where the plows are kind of more active. But if you're in a smaller town, it's not so good. Here's Devin Biggs.
Yeah.
And thank you very much, Craig and Emma. Happy Monday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Scott's Recreation, New England's largest trailer dealer, home of Maine's lowest camper and tractor prices. With locations in Turner, Manchester, Herman, and Orono, Maine. Here we go. So we do have winter storm warnings in the pink located right about in here up until about Tuesday morning at 5 a.m. A winter weather advisory indicated here in the purple until about midnight as we head towards Tuesday morning. These times might change depending on where you're at, but these are in effect because of a mess that is going to be moving in soon. So let's take a look at things right now. We also have a gale warning up until about 5 o'clock on Monday morning. So later this evening, though, I should say, Monday at around 5 p.m. There's going to be watching for high surf that will be moving in, and it's going to be giving us some issues as we're going to be watching this area of low pressure stirring up the ocean, but also sending all this precipitation moving in as we're watching some ice moving in from the east, going toward the west with some snow mixing in. So we'll be watching for a wintry mix of rain, sleet, snow, and freezing rain, but especially the freezing rain and sleet part where a lot of accumulating ice will be possible, though a half inch can be possible in a few spots or less with this area of low pressure that's currently kind of rotating off towards the east in general, but it is going to be sending some of this icy precipitation in, at least for the daytime today. So here we go. So we're going to be watching this moving in for most of the daytime today, but notice by tonight it starts to taper off a bit. So by Tuesday, things will begin to improve. Here's your hourly forecast for the rest of the afternoon period and the morning period too. Sleet and freezing rain will be the main idea. Temperatures in the 20s and 30s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Emma.
One of our state's very own, as you may have heard by now, is the lucky winner who has matched all 6 numbers to win the $1.3 billion Mega Millions prize. The winning ticket on Friday has been Maine's first ever Mega Millions jackpot win, and it's the second largest prize in the game's history and fourth largest in U.S. lottery history. The biggest Mega Millions jackpot reached $1.5 billion in 2018. Fred Cutro, the owner of Hometown Gas and Grill in Lebanon, where the ticket was sold, told Fox Business, our national affiliate, that when he got the call regarding the winning ticket, he said, quote, "At the beginning, I thought it was a scam. I thought the next thing he was going to ask for would be a gift card." He said, quote, "We're obviously hoping it's somebody local."
Yeah, hopefully it is somebody local passing on through. Boy, it was all over social media Saturday.
Right.
You know, combination of, it wasn't me, and people
Right.
just elated that somebody from Maine might have got that winning number.
I really hope it's somebody from Maine. Not somebody passing through. But since it's a kind of a smaller town, it's hopeful that it's somebody from Maine.
Yeah, and good luck to whoever won it, too.
Right.
I think they had their hands full. You'd
Right.
think that life would just change all for the better, but suddenly you have to really think about a lot of new things.
I'm sure there's a lot of scary changes in there, too.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people wouldn't have much sympathy for that.
That's true.
But hey, it's a big change.
I'd like to tackle that challenge myself someday, you know. No big deal. I think I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, I think you would be, too. Well, still to come here this morning, Ryan Sudol and Tyler Cruz will have your latest with local sports.
Don't go away. Good Morning Maine continues right after this.
If you're eligible for Medicare and Medicaid, a Medicare Advantage plan from Anthem Maine Health can come with all the benefits you want and zero compromises. Just go to anthemmainehealth.com/answers or call 855-753-3928 for a one-on-one Medicare plan review. Ask about our $0 monthly premium plans that include dental, vision, and hearing coverage, along with transportation, a free gym membership, and $0 copay for prescriptions, all for zero extra cost. Plus, you could be eligible for extra benefits to help you save even more. We have plans with up to $2,500 a year to help you pay for over-the-counter health items, groceries, and living expenses like cell phone, electric, or water bills, all on a single prepaid MasterCard you can use at thousands of locations nationwide. Call Anthem Maine Health at 855-753-3928 or visit anthemmainehealth.com/answers and get a Medicare Advantage plan with zero compromises for you and your wallet.
CEM DP Porter Contractors has been in business for over 40 years in the Bangor area. We specialize in design build for commercial, medical, and residential. We can assist our customers with anything from lot procurement to helping find financing for your project, along with building maintenance and renovation. CEM DP Porter Contractors is currently hiring in Herman for multiple positions, including carpenters and laborers. We offer vacation, holidays, a 3% IRA match, and competitive pay. If interested in applying, please contact Jason at 207-848-7486.
Mad Cat & Company in the North Brewer Shopping Plaza invites you to host your next event with us. We are much more than just a bar. Our event room is designed to host any type of event, formal or casual. Family gatherings, birthday parties, corporate parties, club meetings, fundraisers, or weddings and receptions. We've got you covered. Our open floor plan can adequately seat 100 or more people, and we can assist you with food, drinks, and entertainment as well. Call or visit our website today.
Let's go. It's not how you begin. You take advantage of the moment. But how you finish. Super Bowl 57, February 12th on Fox.
Hey everybody, Ryan Sudol here. Thank you so much for joining us. You know, I am in a cheery mood today, so what other place to start than some cheerleading? For the first time in 3 years, the Stephanie Tardif Memorial Cheer Invitational returned in person to Brewer High School. The event for middle school cheer squads was held across 2 sessions Saturday, featuring more than a dozen local schools. The afternoon session featured 8 schools, including Bangor's William S. Cohen and James Dowdy, Brewer Community, and Herman. But in the end, it would be the Rebels of Hamden's Reedsbrook Middle School who took home the crown. It's their first meet win of the season, and they are so happy that the monkey is finally off their backs.
It feels really amazing, it really does. It feels like we all have no nerves anymore. I agree, it feels like we got the first one off our backs. Yeah, it's just like takes it off our chest.
They were so much fun. Thanks to their coach for allowing us to do that interview. Now let's move to some college hoops. Maine women's basketball was 3-0 in America East play heading into their game against UMBC Saturday. Let's see if they can make it 4. Black Bears hosting the Retrievers at the Pit. They're going for 4 in a row against UMBC too. Let's start in the third quarter. Ann Simon directing traffic, but she says, I'll just take the wheel myself, coast to coast, all the way to the hoop. How good is it to have her back? Still third quarter. Caroline Borneman out to Adriana Smith. and she nails it from deep. No rim needed. Black Bears up 12 after 3. Fourth quarter now. UMBC trying to put something together. That's Keela Dixon with a nice step back 3. But later on, Paula Gallego, she's going to find a cutting Adriana Smith to make the lead 18 for the Black Bears. Smith is pumped, and rightfully so. 25 and 10, her 5th straight double-double. Black Bears take it 71-54. She has been going nuts lately. Speaking of going nuts, Old Town High School Hoops, their program is doing pretty well for themselves. Both the girls and the boys teams are among top contenders in B North, and they hosted a doubleheader against Presque Isle Saturday afternoon. Let's start with the boys. Coyotes at 8-2 on the year, trying to knock off the Wildcats. First quarter, Old Town's Grayson Teeble shoots it over to Braden Brown, who nails the quarter 3. Okay, now watch this crazy sequence for Presque Isle. Malachi Cummings on the inbound, stolen by Carson Ellis, tries to save it. It ends up in Dawson Below's hands, up to Jack Hallett. He spins and nails it off the glass. Wild stuff there. Old Town up 7 after 1. Second quarter now. It's Ellis. He finds Tebow, and he does what he does. 3 ball from the sharpshooter. And here he comes again on the break by himself. Pulls up from the foul line, and of course he makes it. Old Town will go on to win this one 65-51. Now, can they pull off the sweep? Unbeaten Old Town girls trying to get to 12-0. Let's start third quarter. Sage Evans to Taylor Loring to Gabby Cody. She can't get it to go, but Evans comes in swooping for the putback. Later, watch this pass from Michaela Emerson to a wide open Loring for the easy lay-in. Coyotes up 12 after 3. To the fourth, Wildcats Anna Jandreau to Addison Claremont for 3, and she gets it to go. But Old Town would prove too much. Check out this one. Emerson, she gets it into Cody. And check out this crazy off-balance shot that she manages to put down. The Coyotes win it. They are still undefeated. They get the win 49-33. And we've got one more game for you. Boys action at the Cross Center. Bucksport visiting John Bapps. Let's go to the third quarter. Bucksport's Cam Weber finds Caden Blackwood, who comes across for the nice 12-footer. Later, Crusaders with it. This is Tristan Martin to Soren Peterson at the top of the key. Drano for 3. Bapps clinging to a 1-point lead. Next possession, it's Weber. Check out that step back and the shooter's roll. Bucks lead it again. Finally, watch John Bapps. John Pangburn. He plays soccer. He knows a little bit about running coast to coast for the lay-in. Bapst up 6, and they win it by 6, 48-42. Okay, now let's go to some out-of-town scores. UMBC knocks off Maine men's basketball 85-77, and Hudson men's and women's get the sweep against Cazenovia. The women win 99-49, men 83-77. And the second end of that doubleheader over at the Cross Center, John Bapps knocks off Bucksport in girls action 38-19. That's all the time we have for sports. I'm Ryan Sudol. We'll be back right after the break.
It's your journey. Own every mile in an available H-Track all-wheel drive Hyundai SUV. Lease an all-wheel drive 2023 Tucson for $239 a month, or get 2.9% APR for 60 months. See your Bangor Hyundai dealer.
There was no salt or sand.
And because of that, I slipped and fell.
When snow or ice isn't removed, you need a powerful law firm to go after every dollar you may deserve.
I needed to protect my rights.
Cases like this require resources and experience.
Over 25,000 victories for injured Mainers and more than $500 million collected for Maine families.
I never thought I'd get that much.
The law offices of Joe Bornstein. Maine lawyers working for Maine people.
Where will your new Chevy take you this year? Anywhere. Find new experiences, find new roads. Qualified lessees with a current eligible lease can get this Silverado for around $399 a month. Or current Chevy owners can get $2,500 total cash allowance when you purchase.
Realtors at Morrison & Company with Next Home experience have been serving satisfied clients since 2016. With more than $25 million in sales for 2022 alone, we hold the expertise to get you from under contract to closing during this very personal experience. Our modern and hands-on approach will get you where you want to be, faster and with less hassle. Call us today for your real estate options.
Dad, not another showing.
Welcome back, everyone. His dream was to see an end to racism and hatred. And decades after his assassination, his words and teachings still remain relevant.
Fox News' Ted Linder takes a look at nationwide ceremonies honoring the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. as his family urges the country to use the federal holiday to give back to their communities.
Monday marks the 37th Martin Luther King Jr. holiday as the nation honors the life and legacy of the historic civil rights leader whose timeless messages of peace and unity continue to inspire countless people around the country and the world.
If we don't individually espouse and hold those values high, collectively, we will never realize the dream.
Leading up to Monday's federal holiday, crowds in St. Louis gathered over the weekend to commemorate Dr. King's work with a March for Peace. Marchers were also out Sunday in San Diego, California.
It's a celebration of unity, of freedom, of equality. It's a celebration of togetherness. You know, I think those are things that Dr. King embodied.
Meanwhile, Sunday in Atlanta, President Biden celebrated Dr. King's birthday with a sermon at Ebenezer Baptist Church, the same house of worship where King served as a pastor.
We have to choose a community over chaos. Are we, the people, are going to choose love over hate?
In Boston, the city where Dr. King first met his wife, members of the King family helped unveil a new statue on Friday honoring his work. The bronze sculpture depicting four arms embracing was inspired by a 1964 picture taken of the Kings after learning Dr. King won the Nobel Peace Prize. King's granddaughter calling on the nation to embrace his teachings and to use Monday's holiday as a time to give back to others.
Let's make it a great day of community service, a day of brotherhood, a day of sisterhood, a day of using your platform for good.
Ted Linder, Fox News.
And we want to let you know, too, a couple of cancellations because of the foul weather today, and that includes the annual MLK breakfast they have every year up at the University of Maine. They aren't canceling it. They are simply postponing it until February 20th now because of the icy conditions. Also, the Fill the Strand event going on in Rockland has been postponed until tomorrow. They plan to take in a lot of food donations to help people there in the Rockland area and filling the Strand Theater. But again, don't go there today. Stay home where it's nice and safe and warm, and then you can drop off your food donations tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes sense that it's being postponed to February 2. That's Black History Month.
Yeah.
So, hey, that works as well. And as far as the weather today goes, here's Devin Biggs with our full forecast.
Alrighty, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Scott's Recreation, New England's largest trailer dealer, home of Maine's lowest camper and tractor prices, with locations in Turner, Manchester, Herman, and Orono, Maine. Here we go. A lot of alerts in effect. Just a couple of them, but they're kind of overspreading the whole state. This right here is a winter storm warning up until about 5 o'clock Tuesday morning, because we're going to be watching for some sleet and ice accumulations expected and a little bit of snow. Winter weather advisories in a purple here until about midnight Tuesday, depending on where you're at, for some icing accumulations as well. But the worst of it will be in the eastern parts of the state. There's also a gale warning that's in effect here, and these are the areas in that gale warning. So roughly about 5 o'clock later this evening, we can pull this map further off towards the south and west, and that's going to be kind of the general idea for pretty much everybody with this gale warning that's currently in effect. But look at all this precipitation here currently moving into purple, indicating ice moving in. Possibly a wintry mix of some other precipitation here in this pink shade, with rain further off towards the south and east, and maybe some snow further off towards the north. So a wintry mix of everything is what we're starting out with this morning. We're going to keep that wintry mix going for most of the daytime today, especially the sleet and freezing rain part. Roads will be slippery, half-inch or less of ice possible. Power outages will be possible with this as well as it does develop. So it's currently kind of tracking off towards the east. So we'll get this out of here later today. So by tonight, we'll still have this. But by tomorrow, things will begin to calm down with high pressure not too far away. So we just have today to deal with. with this precipitation that's currently moving through and plenty of ice. Look at all this today. This is not going to be a good situation, possibly mixing with some snow from time to time as we head towards the evening period. But notice what happens tomorrow. Things finally begin to calm down. So we have a little bit of icy precipitation and snow possible to start things off for you Tuesday. Maybe lingering through the afternoon too is a little bit of snow, but the worst of it will be today and the parts of tonight with a little bit of snow lingering around as we head towards early Wednesday morning as well. So here we go. So this is kind of the ice potential here. This says rainfall, but this should say the ice potential here of about a ½ inch or less of ice before we're all finished up here. So this is not a good situation. So please be careful. This is ice potential here, not rainfall. We'll keep you posted as things do develop. This is the future rainfall forecast right here. About an inch and a half before we're all finished up, with lesser amounts further off towards the south and west. And the snowfall potential as well is not very huge here, about an inch or two before we're all finished up, so not a whole lot of snow possible. We'll have to keep an eye on this as things do develop. So your forecast for today looks like this. So we do have freezing rain, sleet, and snow, power outages possible, ½ inch or less of ice, highs in the low 30s, the north wind getting up to about 30 miles per hour. Later on tonight, upper 20s, freezing rain, sleet, and snow, the north wind getting up to about 20 miles per hour. And for tomorrow, 35 degrees, mostly cloudy, slight chance for snow. Again, northwest wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Scott's Recreation extended forecast, that wintry mix, especially sleet and, of course, freezing rain today. Slight chances for snow Tuesday and Wednesday. Partly cloudy Thursday. More snow moving in as we head towards your Friday.
It's time to start planning that new home or garage you've been thinking about. Hammond Lumber Company is here to help, offering complete building packages with everything you need. With several options on their website and thousands of unique plans in their in-house drawing catalog, Hammond will help you make your dreams a reality. Choose your materials from Hammond's extensive showroom displays, and Hammond will deliver your order from any of the locations across Maine and New Hampshire. Start planning your new home or garage at Hammond Lumber Company, your building project partner.
There are some things that go better together.
Burger and fries, soup and salad.
Like your workplace benefits and retirement savings. With Voya, considering all your financial choices together can help you make smarter decisions.
Voya, well planned, well invested, well protected.
Find out where that road leads. Take on any challenge. When you have the #1 brand in dependability, you stop thinking about what you can't do and start doing what you never thought possible. Get 2.9% APR for 48 months on a new 2023 Forte.
When the Coach House Restaurant wants to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. The Coach House Restaurant, family dining at its best with fine home-cooked meals, delicious homemade desserts, and a large menu of tasty offerings for breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
At Riptide Smoke Shop, we pride ourselves on being local. Riptide is locally owned and operated at its new location in Belfast. We have a large selection of glass from over 40 local artists. We have prices for everyone, starting at just a few dollars. Trying to quit? Try one of our 50-plus vape flavors. Riptide offers incense, pendants, clothing, art, and more. Come vibe with the Tide. A deal worth the drive.
A Denver family didn't realize their newly adopted puppy was going to be a star. Turtle is going to be scoring touchdowns and stealing hearts on the upcoming Puppy Bowl. Dan Daru has more on the story.
Danny Powers loves animals, especially dogs. That's one reason she became a veterinarian.
Good job, buddy.
So when Danny Powers and her fiancée, Lindsay, wanted to adopt a puppy of their own, they contacted Jenna Lopez at Lifeline Puppy Rescue.
We rescue moms, nursing and pregnant moms and puppies out of underfunded and overpopulated areas of the United States.
Danny and Lindsay chose Turtle, a 6-month-old pit bull mixed breed.
Well, I've always wanted a blue nose kitty. Just look at the nose. It's adorable.
As Danny, Lindsay, and Turtle started their life together, little did they know Turtle would be a star, seen by millions on the animal planet. Before Turtle was adopted, Lifeline Puppy Rescue submitted Turtle's and another puppy's pics for consideration.
Because we're looking for an MVP. We submitted their photos as puppies to Animal Planet, and they got selected because they're just very unique looking, great personalities, well-rounded dogs.
Animal Planet's Puppy Bowl is pre-taped and already in the can. But for Danny and Lindsay, it doesn't matter to them if Team Rough or Team Tough wins, because they know Turtle